welcome to another video, and today I'm going to be talking about a book. Now, I actually scripted this one, so this should be interesting. We'll see how this goes. But before we go into the book, let's talk about this art. So I'm drawing this. I was thinking about how I was coloring it and how I was painting it. So that's kind of what I'm going to be focusing on with that one. I already did a drawing that was basically this composition. I essentially used that as my sketch, to be honest, and with a white outline, I think you could see it under this, but I wanted to do it again, but fully rendered, so that's what I'm doing with this. This isn't really a character, but I like all of her piercings in her design, so maybe I'll make her a side character or something. We'll see. There are a couple of cool things about this drawing. Was the composition. It was simple, so that's why I decided to focus on the rendering. I really like how it turned out, except for the eyes. The eyes feel kind of muddy to me. I think I tried to do too much with them, but we'll get there. I was trying to think of it as makeup, but I kept forgetting that I was trying to think of it as makeup, so it didn't really work out the way I wanted. So that's interesting and fun and cool. I really wanted the skin to look more dynamic, especially, and then of course have the hair match it, but mainly the skin, because I've been seeing these videos and I really want to get better at drawing skin. I know that's I say that every single time I make a drawing, but I really like it and I really want to get better at it. So we'll see where this goes. I'm at the library because if I do school at home, then I'll get distracted, as one does. I'm doing biology. We love the science. I love the science personally, but I was very out of it. So I got up and I went over to the teen section because I wanted a singular novel that was just normal. I don't know if that makes, no novel is normal because there is no normal novel, but because they're all unique. I don't know, but that's what I was looking for, and I found this book and it had shattered glass on the front, and I was like, that's cool. And it was called Refraction. I barely even read the outside. I was like, is this a novel? No series? Alright, we're good to go. And so I go back to my seat and I start reading. Anyway, I was switching back and forth between the book and what I was supposed to be doing to I don't know, make it easier to do what I was supposed to be doing. So that was the idea, and that's the scene for how I'm reading this book. The reason I tell you this is because I was really paying attention to the book, but at the same time, I was also taking in biology information. And I don't think it oh, that's from biology. I don't think it's mixing the two up. I think it's just I had so much information coming in at once that maybe I missed something or missed a few things, but just because I was kind of confused at some parts, and I kind of attribute that not necessarily to the book, but specifically to the fact that I was taking in two different sources of information. I think I was listening to something as well at some point. We love that for me. I think I stopped that. I think I was yeah, that's too much. But anyways, I'm not good at reviews. I really did like this book, which is why I was oh, I'm gonna talk about this book. So that's what we're doing. But I'm not really good at the reviewing part and being oh, this is good. If you like dystopian, I think you'll like this one. Anyways, I'll put a picture on the screen. It's called Refraction. It's set in a dystopian world where mirrors are illegal. This is because they can summon freaky creatures that can kill you called beings. This is introduced in the first chapter, so I don't think it's too much of a spoiler. I don't know if you guys watch Newly Nova or any of those types of things, but usually what she'll do is she'll if it's in the first chapter or two, or she says the first 100 pages, but I feel even 100 pages is a lot. So for me, I was if it showed up in the first chapter, I think it's fine. If you disagree, you do you, boo. You can not watch this video, I guess, but that's generally how I'm doing it. I have some other thoughts, so I'm gonna have a spoiler section to where you guys can skip through if you guys don't want to hear the spoilers, because I do have other thoughts about the plot and things like that. Anyway, so the mirrors, and they can summon freaky creatures. This takes place 13 months after the entire world became a dystopian, and like there's these fragments of, I think it's a spaceship in the sky, I don't know, but like it's always described the sky as like having a ring, kind of like Saturn, around it with like fragments of like destroyed things, and I'm assuming it means like some sort of spaceship, especially considering the plot. I think it's a spaceship. Anyway, it takes place on an island that's like disconnected from the rest of the world, that's led by its mayor. Now our main character, Marty Callahan, which I either missed or it was never mentioned how old he was. I think mid to late teens. Those are the vibes I got. It could have been late, early 20s too. I think he's in his teens though. In the first chapter is kind of portrayed as like a drug dealer type thing, because he deals mirrors, which are kind of illegal, and like that's how he goes, is like mirrors. Anyway, he deals mirrors, we'll call him that. He's a mirror dealer. He's got OCD, which I don't know much about, so I'm not gonna really talk about that part. I don't want to act like I'm educated in that, or in any sort of mental disability or mental like neurodivergency type things. I don't want to call it, I don't even know what language to use. That's how like out of it I am. So we'll just go with, I'm not going to talk about that. The plot was fairly simple, but there were times I got confused. And once again, I think it's because I was doing multiple things at once. And also, I'm a really fast reader, and I feel like sometimes that means I skip over pretty important things. Somehow it just like, instead of sitting down and reading slowly and absorbing it, it goes right over my head. But I'm working on like being like, no, you got to read the chapter and like go into it, because this is good stuff and it's good for you to read and to read properly. So sometimes I'll reread things multiple times. I didn't this time because I was waiting for my cat, for the vet to call about my cat, so I couldn't, and that made me a bit on a time crunch, but it was fine. She's okay. She's fine. But I did like get the main plot points, which is good. And I really liked the plot. It really was character driven. Whereas like the characters were like, you could tell that their motivations were expressly pushing them to do what they do in the plot. Like their personal like I don't want to call it selfish motivation, but their own motivations, selfish motivations, push them forward in the plot rather than some selfless desire to save the world. It's kind of like they stumble, at least Marty stumbles into saving the world, and all he has to do is just be like, yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm not too upset by that. That's fine with me. Looking back now, like, because I can like vividly see like what he's saying and like how he convinces this other character. I think this is the part where you get to major spoilers, but I'll just put that in the editing. But now for those major spoilers. I think Marty is a really cool character to be in his point of view. Because of the major spoilers, they spoil like how the world was around, so it's kind of like a dreamlike state, which I really like. And with like his OCD, the way it was explained in the book is his OCD makes his mind run and think of things that are absolutely wild and crazy and like go on this spiral. I don't know if that makes sense, but like he goes on this spiral, and because the world is in a dreamlike state, anything that he says will probably happen. And like it's shown in the book, like, oh, like this happens, it's because we wanted this to happen, like subconsciously, not like subconsciously, but we wanted to go to this specific place because we knew this specific place would have something that we needed. Or like when he jump starts a car, he's like, the only car that I know how to jump start is this specific car that my brother used to have. And then somehow you manifest the fact that Like, even that specific car, the exact car his brother has, is, like, created, and, like, he jumpstarts that car. And because, like, apparently the spirals, well, like, if he thinks of something absolutely crazy, like something that could kill one of them or something, like, he doesn't want that to happen. Anyway, I thought that was really interesting. The book put it so much better, and I really liked, like, how the entire world was kind of like his foil. Instead of having, like, a foil character, it was like the whole world was. And he's still, like, I don't know, he still won, I guess. I mean, he did. Yeah. So I thought it was also really interesting. So there, in my notes, I have, like, both of the main characters, Marty and Elliot, have these brothers that are kind of, like, haunting the narrative until, like, one of them, I don't want to spoil too much in these major spoilers, but one of them, like, one of them's dead, one of them's alive. I won't tell you which one, but when you see the dead body of one of them, it's like, oh shit, the other one could be dead too. And it's like, because you're so in tune with, like, how the characters are feeling about, like, that's their main motivation. It's like, oh shit, their main motivation's gone. I don't know if that makes any sense, but anyway, that, like, I don't really want to call it haunting the narrative, but, like, that, oh shit, it's a plot twist. Who am I kidding? It's just a plot twist. I don't know. That's just something I noticed. I'm not gonna act like I'm, like, a storytelling expert or that I know anything about characterizing, but I liked it. I liked the characters. I really loved the world. I really loved the idea of, like, these, basically the beings are, like, the evil people who, they're the evil aliens who are using the mirrors as a bridge into the dreamlike world that they have put the people in to kill the people. I don't know if that makes sense. So you have one side of the mirror that's reality, and it's where the beings are, and they can use that mirror as a bridge to the dreamlike world where they've trapped all of humanity to go kill all of humanity. Because, like, if you die in the dreamlike world, it's actually a plot point where, like, Marty's like, oh, if you die in the dreamlike world, you're probably still fine because it's a dream, but it's really not. And he, like, that's, like, a secret from the other character because, yeah, just because of reasons. And it's just, like, I really liked that. That was just such an interesting thing to do. But yeah. And so the stakes were still there just because, like, you could still die. But, one of the things that because I was writing in my journal as I was reading, like, different things about the book, and one of the things that I wrote down was the fact that I wish that there was a prologue of exactly what happened during, like, the time when, like, the aliens first attacked, and, like, I honestly just can't remember what it's called, but during that time, I would love to have, like, a prologue of, like, even just, like, how Elliot reacted in Elliot's point of view. This is all just personal preference, though, so it's, like, not that big of a deal. I think a lot of, like, my criticisms, if you even can call it that, would be, like, personal preference. And obviously, I would love to go deeper into this world just because I love this world. But at the same time, it's like, this is just one novel. That was the whole point of even reading it. So, it's not that big of a deal. I didn't rate it 5 stars because it's probably not something I'll reread. But that doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. I do like dystopians. Maybe I will reread it, honestly, just to, like, see if I can, like, pick something up out of it that I didn't the first time. But yeah, that's kind of what I like. I would like more backstory about, like, just in those 13 months. So the day that the world, like, breaks and we all get into the dreamlike state, but also, like, what happens between those 13 months to Marty, and how does he become a mirror dealer? Like, how does that work? maybe he was there and I missed it, but like, I want to know like what happened there. Anyways, this is the part of the drawing where I mess up the eyes, but it's fine. I did enjoy the book though. I did rate it 4 stars. I didn't actually like go on Goodreads or anything. This is just like my rating personally. But that's kind of my idea of it. If you've read this book, let me know down below like what you thought of it. And I guess I was in my script, it says a comment red heart for Valentine's Day if you made it this far, which I guess you can still do that. I'm good with that. That would be great. But at the same time, it's not Valentine's Day anymore. So I guess black heart for all of us single people out there. All of us being emo and wild. Alright. Anyways, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. And you guys better eat your vegetables. And I hope you, like, this is the drawing. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me render the drawing and all that stuff. So, yeah. You guys have a good one.